John Holdren just made an announcement about the cooler weather. He says, don't think that global warming is over. Don't think that the cool weather disproves global warming. He's saying cooler weather does not disprove man-made global warming. And then he says the cooler weather is caused by the polar vortex. We're left to assume that the polar vortex is caused by, yes, he does say that. He says because the reason the polar vortex exists and it's putting cold air down on the United States, for example, is because the poles, the North Pole is warming, and the difference in temperature between the North Pole and, say, the continental United States is not as great as it was, and therefore they're polar vortex. But I'll have you know the polar vortex has always been there, just like the jet stream has always been there. And in the old days, before John Holdren, the weatherman used to say a cold front is moving down from Canada. And if it was summertime, we'd say, God, good, hallelujah, it is hot. And we'll have a couple of days of cool, dry weather, clear skies. In the wintertime, when a cold front comes down from Canada, it means that we better bundle up. That phenomenon of which John Holdren speaks has always been there, and he's going out on a limb to say that a growing body of science, let's see it, let's see one scientist, one peer-reviewed science paper, let's see one, Mr. Holdren. Or maybe you're prognosticating. You're predicting there will be one because you ordered them and because you pay for them. So if you want these growing body of science papers published, you assume they will be published, but they haven't been published yet. But Holdren's explanation for the cold weather is because the temperature differential between the North Pole and the United States is not as great as it was because the North Pole is warming. Oh, brother, is it warming. The North Pole is warming, the ice is melting, just like Al Gore's been saying, the polar bears are drowning, just like Al Gore's been saying. It's more of the same, except the data doesn't show it. The data doesn't show it. Here's an ice chart showing that every winter the poles freeze up. Every winter. And every summer they thaw out. But I will admit that for 10 years or so there was a warm spell and the ice shrunk more than it had in the previous 10 years. But this is not unusual because it shrinks and grows from time to time. Sometimes you can sail a ship through there, and sometimes you can't. But it does look to me that on a monthly basis, in this past year and the present year, 2014, that the ice is growing, as illustrated here. June, July, and August, October, September, month by month, you can see the size of the ice in the summertime is not shrinking as much as it was. As a matter of fact, it's now surpassed the shrinkage of, say, 2010.